Picture this. It's 2014. A man worth approximately $58 billion walks into a used car dealership in Omaha, Nebraska. He's not browsing, he's buying. The salesman has no idea he's about to sell a pre-owned Cadillac to the fifth richest person on earth. Warren Buffett buys a 2014 XTS. When reporters later ask why the Oracle of Omaha doesn't drive a Bentley, he shrugs. It gets me from point A to point B. But here's what nobody expected when researcher Thomas Stanley began studying America's millionaires. For 20 years, Stanley tracked down actual millionaires across the country. Not Instagram influencers, not lottery winners, real millionaires who built their wealth from nothing. Between 1973 and 1993, his team conducted face-to-face interviews with over 11,000 verified millionaires from Atlanta to San Francisco. What they discovered shattered every assumption about wealth in America. 73% of millionaires drive used cars, not lease payments on luxury vehicles, not financed BMWs, used cars they own outright. Stanley's data revealed that millionaires often pay significantly less for their vehicles than the median American household, which spends around $28,000. The people with the most money spend the least on cars, but Stanley's team was about to discover something that would make them question everything they thought they knew about wealth. When his researchers showed up unannounced at millionaires' homes, they came prepared with cameras, expecting to document the obvious. Circular driveways lined with Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Instead, they found something so shocking they had to verify the addresses twice. Honda Accords with 200,000 miles. Toyota Camrys with faded paint. Ford F-150s held together with duct tape and determination. These weren't people who couldn't afford better cars. These were people who understood something the rest of us missed entirely. Dr. Sarah Stanley Falaw picked up her father's research in 2018. The Affluent Market Institute study revealed something even more shocking. Modern millionaires are more likely to buy used vehicles than their predecessors from the 90s. The pattern isn't weakening, it's accelerating. But wait until you hear who's driving the newest, most expensive cars. The people drowning in debt. Stanley's data exposed a cruel irony. Households earning between $50,000 and $100,000 annually are the most likely to lease luxury vehicles. They're hemorrhaging 40% of their income on car payments, insurance, and maintenance. Meanwhile, people worth over $1 million spend less than 10% of their income on transportation. But here's where it gets truly twisted. Stanley discovered that neighbors can't tell the difference. Let me show you exactly what I mean. March 1994, Phoenix, Arizona. Two driveways. Two completely different financial realities. Dr. Jennifer Martinez, a dentist earning $300,000 annually, pulls into her driveway in a 7-year-old Honda Accord. The odometer reads 120,000 miles. The paint is faded. Her neighbors whisper that she must be struggling financially. They have no idea she's sitting on $1.2 million in assets at age 38. Across the street, her neighbor fires up his brand new BMW 5 Series. $600 a month. Pristine German engineering. Admiring glances from passers-by. This marketing manager earning $65,000 feels like he's made it. His actual net worth? Negative $42,000. Here's where the story gets diabolical. The luxury car industry has weaponized this psychology. BMW alone spent $2.3 billion on advertising in 2022, with laser-focused campaigns targeting middle-class professionals. Their lease programs are financial mousetraps disguised as opportunity. That BMW 330i advertised at $450 per month? Add insurance, maintenance, and gap coverage. The real cost approaches $800 monthly. Over 3 years, you've paid $28,800 for a car you'll never own. Mercedes-Benz perfected this manipulation with their executive demo program. They market barely used vehicles to people who can't afford new ones but desperately crave the status. But here's the twisted part nobody talks about. The luxury car companies know their customers are going broke. Internal BMW documents leaked in 2019 revealed their target demographic: households earning $60,000 to $90,000 with existing debt loads above 40%. They're not selling to people who can afford luxury. They're selling to people desperate to look like they can. Dr. Brad Klontz calls this financial flashiness disorder. His decade-long study of 800 high earners exposed a brutal truth. Status car buyers accumulated 67% less wealth than people driving beaters. But one conversation changed how Stanley saw this entire psychological trap. March 1991, suburban Dallas. Stanley sits across from Richard Patterson, a plumbing contractor worth several $1,000,000. Patterson still drives his 1985 Ford F-150 pickup truck. 300,000 miles, rust spots, torn seats. Stanley can't understand it. Why would a multimillionaire drive a vehicle held together with prayer? Patterson doesn't answer with words. He walks Stanley to his garage and hits the lights. Inside sits a pristine 1987 Porsche 911, completely restored, worth over $60,000. Patterson explains his philosophy. He bought the Porsche as an investment, not transportation. The Ford truck is reliable and cheap to maintain. The Porsche appreciates in value while sitting in climate-controlled storage. In that moment, Stanley understood millionaire psychology. Wealthy people separate emotional purchases from practical ones. Patterson's beat-up truck had absorbed every pothole for 7 years. His Porsche had gained $15,000 in value over 4 years. He grasped something most people never learn. Cars are tools, not identity statements. And here's the mathematics that will blow your mind. Millionaires often research vehicles extensively before buying, targeting 3-year-old vehicles that have absorbed the steepest depreciation but retain most of their useful life. Watch this wealth-building formula in action. A new Toyota Camry costs around $35,000 in 2024. After 3 years, it's worth approximately $21,000. The original owner just lost $14,000. A millionaire buys that 3-year-old Camry for $21,000. 5 years later, they sell it for $12,000. Same transportation. The first owner lost $14,000 in 3 years. The millionaire lost $9,000 over 5 years. But there's an even deeper pattern Stanley uncovered. Millionaires keep their cars for 11 years on average. Regular car owners trade up every 6 years. They perform religious maintenance to extend vehicle life rather than chasing newer models. Every dollar not spent on car payments gets invested in stocks, real estate, or business opportunities. Stanley calculated this stunning fact. A 30-year-old who invests the difference between a used car payment and a luxury lease could accumulate significant additional wealth by retirement. The choice isn't just about transportation, it's about financial freedom. Dr. Russ Alan Prince's studies confirm Stanley's findings remain relevant. Many ultra-high net worth individuals drive vehicles worth less than $100,000, despite having investable assets exceeding $25 million. They view expensive cars as wealth destroyers, not wealth indicators. The Millionaire Car Paradox reveals the secret to building real wealth. Spend significantly less than you earn and invest the difference consistently over decades. Those 73% of millionaires driving used cars understand that every financial decision either moves you toward or away from independence. They choose freedom over flash, substance over status. So the next time you see someone driving an older, practical vehicle, remember, they might be the wealthiest person in the parking lot. The question isn't what car you're driving today. The question is, what car will your future self thank you for choosing? Because here's the final twist nobody talks about. The car in your driveway doesn't determine your net worth. Your net worth determines whether you can actually afford the car in your driveway.